I mean, what a match, what a mess. Chaos and disorder at Wimbledon today. One thing before I get into just my reaction on the match, can we please train? I mean, how many times do the photographers, the camera people doing the broadcast of the match, why do they quickly go up to the stands and not film the players giving the handshake? I mean, these two players were at each other's throat the entire match. I'm watching the match on ABC, and they have their camera on some random guy as Kyrgios and Tsitsipas are shaking hands. What are they thinking? Who is the person in the broadcast booth who goes, the match is over, quick, get the stands, make sure we miss the handshake? Who is in charge of that? I'm pulling like a Nick Kyrgios rant. I would like them fired, please. Like, when the match is over, watch players walk to the net and do the handshake. That's what fans want to see. We don't care to see the stands after the match ends, okay? But wow, what a match. And Nick pulls it out. It's so funny to hear like McEnroe talking like it's such a disgrace the way Nick acted, and it's a shame and all this stuff, when McEnroe has pulled every trick in the book and then some. Hopefully he realizes more and more what a complete jerk he was, because he pulled all the same stuff, and it really is not fair to the opponent. It's kind of interesting. Kyrgios, after the match, did an interview saying, well, there's no hard feelings on my end. I love Tsitsipas. I love his brother. Like, again, completely clueless on how disrespectful it is to be the opponent and to be talking, which Patrick McEnroe rightly said, and I said it before Patrick McEnroe said, to be talking as you're getting ready to serve, and the returner, Nick Kyrgios, is talking right as you're getting ready to serve. Like, it's so rude and disrespectful, among all the other things. It's impossible as an opponent to concentrate when Nick is doing all he's doing. And I agree with Patrick. Tsitsipas should have early on called Nick to the net and said, hey, come here. Like, we're mates, but if you keep acting like this, we're no longer mates. And if you keep acting like this, Nick is fun to watch. Absolutely is fun to watch. But Nick, if you keep acting like this, we're not going to be friends, and I'm going to go up every time you do this. I'm just going to be complaining to the chair the whole time. Like, he should have done that. He let it go too far. He let Nick go too far to where it was a runaway train, and he lost it. At some point after Tsitsipas won that first set in the tiebreaker, he lost the mental advantage, and Nick, among all the chaos, the rest of the match, was able to control the match from a mental perspective. He was clearly in Tsitsipas's head. That was a big part of the match. Besides all the amazing tennis they both played, and Nick also outplayed Tsitsipas. But in the Nadal match, I don't know if you guys saw that, Nadal felt that Sonego was grunting in an irregular kind of like rhythm, and still grunting as Nadal was getting ready to hit the ball. And Nadal was a man about it. He said he called Sonego to the net and said, hey, come here, let's talk about this. The way you're grunting is like out of hand. Now, whether Nadal is right or wrong on that, I mean, Sonego wasn't doing anything even in the same ballpark, the same stratosphere as what Tsitsipas had to deal with. So, but at least Nadal had an issue, and like a man, he called his opponent to the net and said, hey, I don't like this. I think Tsitsipas should have done that. Hopefully he learns his lesson, especially the next time he plays Nick. And hopefully people watching the match learn their lesson, opponents learn their lesson, say, hey, don't let this get away. You're not going to be able to control the match by ignoring Nick. That is not the way to go about it. You can't just ignore his antics and think that you're going to be above it. And that's what a lot of people who used to play McEnroe back in the day tried to do. It's like, oh, well, just ignore him, just let him do him, and I'll just focus on my side of the court. It's impossible. It is impossible to do that. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about Nick winning this match? Are you happy Nick won? I get a kick out of the hypocrite John McEnroe talking about Nick. Exactly. I totally agree. Nadal, weird moment out there. Yeah, it was a weird moment to see Nadal do that. I'm not sure if Nadal is right or wrong on that. I didn't watch much of that match because they pretty much had the cameras all time on the Tsitsipas Kyrgios match, which I think was the right call. I mean, it was, whether you agree or disagree with the way Nick played today or behaved, it's must-watch TV. That's what makes it so hard as a fan. Half of me is disgusted. The other half is going, well, shit, tennis needs more of this, because you're going to watch it. You're not going to not watch it. It's going to get outside attention, like the news media, who normally will not talk about tennis. They'll be talking about this match. But at the same time, Nick is like carrying his extremities, like signifying like he's playing with big, what, on center. Well, I guess it wasn't center court at Wimbledon, but at Wimbledon. I mean, he's just doing a lot of things that really are uncalled for, that don't belong in the game. However, it makes you watch. Come on, we're watching, we're talking about it. So does that just make it automatically good? I don't know. I'm wrestling with it in my own head. Like, I really enjoyed the match. At the same time, there was part of me that was wanting to turn off the TV and say, you know what? This guy is such a jerk. So, yeah, he's got us eating out of his hand, basically. It is making Wimbledon a lot more interesting. So Nick is into the next round. He's going to play Nakashima. I think that's his name. Big player, big guy, big game, American, good player. I think Nick cannot sleep past this guy. This guy's got some firepower, and I think he could give Nick some trouble out there. Nick's a lot of spectator giving him the business to deal with. He could bring down notches and still be fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, I think that's right. I think Nick could bring it down probably 5 or 6 notches and we would still watch. It's still entertaining enough to watch. But he's not going to do that, especially the more he gets away with it. I do personally think that it isn't fair to the opponents, and what they've clearly decided as a tournament and as umpires, like, we're going to give Nick a lot of leeway. He's going to be yelling at us the whole match. We understand that. We're going to give him a lot of rope. If it goes too far, we'll occasionally give him a point penalty and things like that. Where really, if you're going to nip this in the bud, and there shouldn't be where he is talking before his opponent serve. He shouldn't be allowed to talk to the umpires every 2 seconds. He shouldn't be allowed to drop the F-bomb at the opponents, at the crowd, at his box every 2 seconds. I think there should be more of like a meeting, like, hey, we're just going to tell Nick, look, you're not allowed to talk to us nonstop. You're not allowed to drop F-bombs at us. You're not allowed to talk to your box. If you do that, you're going to get a point, game, match. You're going to be out of here real quick. I think somebody should talk to him like that, because I think long-term it is too far. It is too far, and ultimately, it is not fair to the opponent. That's who it's most unfair to. And McEnroe used this tactic for a long time, and he won a lot of matches where really, if he was not allowed to get away with just this kind of psychological warfare, he probably would have lost a lot of those matches. My stream was very buggy. I saw Tsitsipas go ballistic shots. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you missed the match, it was a very high-quality match. High entertainment match. The match was close the entire way. Tsitsipas won the first set 7-6 by pretty much ignoring everything that Kyrgios was doing. Kyrgios basically once it started to get around 5-5 in the first set, he got more and more chirpy. Tsitsipas getting ready to serve. He's talking to his box right up until the moment that Tsitsipas is serving. Completely rude. When they got in the tiebreaker, Nick almost didn't even play the tiebreaker. He just basically was nonstop conversation with the umpire. It basically kept going from there on, but somehow Nick was able to keep his focus, play better and better. Tsitsipas still played at a high level, but it got to him. After he lost, I think, a set or something, Tsitsipas hit a ball into the stands, very close to hitting a person. And if it would have hit a person, who knows? He might have been defaulted. He could have been defaulted for that. Then there was another one where Tsitsipas, Kyrgios missed a serve. Tsitsipas went to hit it, basically at his direction, tried to hit him. He tried to hit Kyrgios about 2 or 3 times. He slammed the ball at the scoreboard, but this was all out of frustration. Like Tsitsipas maybe blew up 5 times, but it was all out of frustration that Kyrgios was allowed to get away with just nonstop chatter. Nonstop. Well, I mean, when I say nonstop, guys, it's nonstop. Maybe the 4th set he was a little more quiet, but he's still screaming, dropping the F-bombs. It was absolute chaos. It was absolute wild match. But he was able to maintain an incredibly high level of tennis. So let's stop talking about Nick, the DICK, because that's basically what he is, but the genius tennis player. He served incredibly well. I mean, his serve, Tsitsipas could not get the ball back enough times to really impact Kyrgios' serve. And even when he got it back, it was a very weak ball in the middle of the court, and Kyrgios was absolutely lighting up his forehand. Just would get mid-court forehands and just bludgeon the ball. And then occasionally he would take those balls and hit drop shots to make it even more interesting. So Tsitsipas was battling himself the entire match. He played very well. He had chances. He had 4 or 5 real chances. He had 15 points to serve, but could not turn around. So it could have gone 5 sets real easy. Now, if it went 5 sets, who knows what would have happened? I do not know what would have happened when it went to the 5th set. I'm sure Kyrgios was very, 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 very happy to be out of there in that tiebreaker, because that 5th set, who knows what would have happened. You can see as things get more and more tight, Kyrgios gets more and more agitated. He gets more and more agitated, more and more on edge, starts to yell at his box more, starts to yell at the umpire more, starts to just yell out just absolute screams, like primal screams. But man, the level of play he displayed today was incredible, incredible. And it is, if you're just being all out honest, whether you like or hate Nick, it is more interesting because you just don't know what he's going to hit. You know huge serves are coming, but there could be also an underhand serve coming at any time. You know big forehands are coming, but he could have an underhand. His volleys were insane. His volleys were absolutely crazy. Under Tsitsipas hit an amazing 1-2 combination where if he would have won the point, I think he would have won the set. And Nick Kyrgios had to hit a double-handed half volley, so a 2-handed half volley off the bounce on grass. Kyrgios had the line open, but he didn't see if he would have went down the line, he would have won the set. But instead, he hit a low, hard forehand passing shot, and Kyrgios just beautiful hands, just stone cold, puts his hands out, hits like a little dink drop shot volley. So Kyrgios earned it. I mean, he earned it tennis-wise. But in my humble opinion, let me know what you guys think. He should not be allowed to take it as far as he does. He should not be allowed to take it as far as he does. Nick also kept the unforced errors extremely low. Yeah, he served. I mean, imagine that serve. 70% first serves. Hitting a serve that big and making 70% of them, you're not going to lose many times like that. I mean, Nick could beat anybody today, guys. He really, really could. My partner in crime, B2, completely exhausted after the match. Look at what it did to B2, guys. He is absolutely worn out. He was running all around the apartment the entire match, going ballistic, okay? And now he's just completely spent. So, really incredible match. Kyrgios, talking to the supervisor, said Tsitsipas hitting the box was almost the same as Djokovic beheading the women. Really, I mean, that's what's kind of crazy is Kyrgios is acting. Now, of course, what Tsitsipas did was over the line. The players have got to learn that they cannot hit balls into the stands. Like, this has got to stop. And it seems to be happening more and more. And he hit the ball into the stands, but he did not hit a fan. That's the difference. So he did not get anything for that. And I'm not sure, I don't know, maybe that the chair umpire didn't see it at the time. But Kyrgios, who's acting like a jerk the entire match, was a little snitch. He was a snitch, and supposedly, and not supposedly, because after the match he says he has all kinds of respect for Tsitsipas, that he really loves him, he loves his brother, but yet he was calling for him to be defaulted or a point penalty. Like, he was basically telling on his buddy, like, hey, did you see that? That was the same as what Djokovic did. He should be defaulted, basically what he was saying. So, you know, it's kind of crazy that you can act all kinds of crazy and then you see misbehavior and you want that tended to right away. Again, another just piece of Nick being a complete hypocrite. I think what needs to happen, maybe it's because maybe they're hoping that Nick will blow up. That could be one thing that maybe the players are hoping for, that they will blow up, that he'll blow up and kind of self-destruct, so they just let him kind of do it. Maybe they're afraid of him physically. The guy is a beast, no matter how you want to put it. I mean, the guy is a beast. What is he, like 6'6", 6'7"? He's strong. So maybe they're afraid of him. I don't know, but I think more players early on in the match, when he starts talking to his box, when he starts chirping at the umpire, when he stops dropping the F-bomb, they should not go to the umpire. They should call Nick to the net the way Nadal did today and say, look, dude, you keep this up, I'm going to be in your face all match. I'm not going to take this. I'm going to be calling you out. I'm going to be going over the umpire. I'm going to be telling him that you cannot do this the entire match. This is out of line. So either you shut up and play tennis, or I will be complaining the entire match like you are complaining, and we might not even play tennis today. Like, I would do that. But again, it's different when you're out there, and maybe you're hoping two things. Like, I hope he does self-destructs, and, you know, I don't really want to deal with him. The guy's a monster. Nadal would crash. I guess you meant crush. Don't overestimate him. So, yeah. That's my take on the match, guys. Amazing match. Like this video up. Wimbledon is getting more and more interesting. He's 6'4", 172, according to Bing. He looks bigger than 6'4". He looks like he weighs way more than 172. I'm 6'1", I think I'm 189 pounds. I don't know. He looks like he's a good solid 195, 6'7". He does not look like he is. Are you talking about Tsitsipas? Yeah, there's no way he's 172. There's just no way. No way. Anyway, let me know. What do you guys think? Are you Nick fans? Who on the live stream is a Nick fan? Who is rooting for Nick to win Wimbledon? Is this good for the game? Is this bad for the game? It's a coin toss to me. Overall, I guess it's good. I guess it's good for the game because he's interesting. He will get outside media and fans watching and talking. But he's a baby. I mean, the guy is like, half the match he just walks around going, like shaking his head. It's so annoying. Like, I wish there would be somebody, you know what I would like? Mark says this behavior isn't acceptable. I mean, Nick really deserves, I don't know there's many guys could do it on the tour. Hopefully maybe there's some like hidden black belts. Nick deserves in public to not just get his ass kicked in a tennis match, but to get his ass kicked physically in a fight. Like, he's just asking for it, guys. Whether it's a fan coming out, I mean, if he wants to turn this into WWF or UFC, I would love to see it go all the way. I mean, if we're just going to keep it out there and say what's ever good for people to watch tennis and his behavior gets people watching tennis, let's just go all the way with it. I would love to see a fan come out and just kick his ever-living butt. I would love to see one of his opponents just give him the beat down and say, shut the blank up. That's what I'd like to see. Violence is never the answer, in my opinion. Well, that's true, but Nick is asking for it, guys. Nick is asking for it. And that's just my opinion. I either don't want to see it at all, or if he's going to bring it to this level of just absurdity, he deserves a public beatdown. That's what I have to say. It will not be me. I am almost 50 years old, and yeah, I'm talking smack, but I wouldn't call Nick out physically. But I think if I was playing a match and I was that good, I think I wouldn't tolerate the way he is. I wouldn't tolerate the way that he is behaving and just be quiet. I wouldn't. Let's go, Nick. If he wins or gets to the final, it would be huge for the ATP. That's true. The stands will be packed for the U.S. Open. I'm not going to argue that, guys. I'm not going to. I mean, there's no argument there. There's no argument there. And, yeah, it's just insanity. But everybody loves a good train wreck. Let's go, Nick. Oh, the ATP website indicates he weighs 187. That makes more sense. I think he's over 190. If he runs his mouth on a basketball court, he must take a lot of hard elbows. Love his underarm serve. If one player can shake Nick the whole tennis, I am not sure what's going on. I think he should be able to deal with one player. It's hard for me to read these comments. It's easier when I'm on the computer. When I'm on mobile, it's hard for me to keep up with the comments. But, yeah, I just wanted to come on. Amazing day of tennis. Nadal wins in 3 easy sets against a really good player. So, Nadal, props to you. Gets it done. But did you see the Nadal match? Just a lot of drama all day. Nadal, the handshake. They stood there for a good, it got awkward. They stood there for a good, what felt like a minute, over a minute, having a little debate at the net. It was like half arguing, half cordial. Then the umpire kind of said, hey guys, let's finish it. Nadal gave him a nice little pat on the back and said kind of like, let's go. Let's talk about this in the locker room maybe. And, you know, again, where you got to give Nadal credit is he had an issue with Sonego, but then as Sonego's walking off the court, Nadal is applauding him, giving him an applaud. What about Fritz? Fritz is playing some great tennis. So, you know, proud of our American Fritzy boy. What were they arguing about? So Nadal was upset that he felt that Sonego's grunts were kind of like at an irregular, weird timing, meaning that Nadal was going to hit the ball lots of times and Sonego was grunting right as Nadal was going to hit the ball. And it was really the momentum of the match was kind of going towards Sonego. So it was more, again, kind of like Tsitsipas, kind of being unraveled. But Tsitsipas had a lot more reason to unravel with all the chaos plus Nick's amazing playing than Sonego just pretty much going about his business, but grunting, maybe extra loud and extra long at times. That's all that was about. He didn't have to deal with near the chaos that Tsitsipas had to deal with today. Not that he couldn't. I mean, Nadal's been out there against Kyrgios plenty of times and has seen exactly what he's capable of. So that wouldn't be any surprise to Nadal. Nadal would be able to handle it, of course. But let's face it, guys. Nick keeps playing like this. If he keeps playing like this and keeps getting away with what he's getting away with and physically can hold up, his body can hold up, the dude can win Wimbledon. He can win this tournament. And then all hell is going to break loose. So, yeah. We'll be back with more live streams. Please like this video on the way out. And we'll see you guys on the next video.